How do you like that, man?
Hey there, hi there, ho there, Andrew here with another review, recap, and react to the summer of the Springwood Slasher in what was a much anticipated sequel, and that made a lot of people scratch their heads after they were done watching it in the theater. Thankfully, they were not wearing Krueger's glove at the time, but before we begin, a big old shout out to Cameron Lutz. Yep, he went ahead and he gave me the entire Freddy Krueger collection, so he's the one that's going to be getting a lot of shout outs for this whole series. And you too can actually get a shout out. All you have to do is send me a video. Yeah, send me a movie to watch. And it actually has to be a film. Don't send me a video of like you doing stuff that's just creepy. I mean, that's really... Yeah, well, I guess I gotta go ahead and talk about the elephant in the room and mention basically what everybody else has mentioned about this movie on the internet. It has been said that there are some homosexual undertones in this movie. I mean, it was written by an openly gay writer. His name, I believe, is David Chaskin. I don't know how you pronounce the last name, and I'm too lazy to look it up. So, anyways, he was openly gay. He wrote it, and apparently all the references that he put in there was completely missed by the director, who was straight, as far as I know. I didn't ask him. Jack Shoulder was the director, and if the director missed them, then I don't know, they can't be that noticeable, right? So, what did I do? Well, I'm glad that you asked. I built a device. It will gather all yielding denotations and references. Gaydar. I guess that sounds catchy. Maybe I should be trademarking that. Either way, when there is a homosexual undertone somewhere in the movie, when we see it, there will be a ping just like this. And that's kind of annoying, actually. Is there something that we can use that actually just goes ahead and, like, says, hey, to get our attention? Hey! Okay, let's move on. A new title screen and... Freddy's revenge. He won the last movie. Why is he vengeful? Who's he getting revenge on? There's a whole new cast of characters. Love that the screen says Robert Englund as Freddy Krueger, and in the same shot we see Robert Englund not as Freddy Krueger. Truth in advertising, baby. This is a little strange. The school bus says Springwood, Indiana. However, this would be later retconned as Springwood, Ohio. Which I guess really doesn't matter anyways, because the bus driver misses the girl stop and drives right into a desert. There's no desert in Indiana or Ohio. Gotta love that blue tint so the daytime suddenly looks like it's nighttime. I mean, don't I look great at night? Then, after some supernatural stuff, the bus is atop a never-ending pit of something wicked. Quick, wake up before Freddy gets you, everybody! Now, this is going to be one of the few times that we clearly, and I mean clearly, see that we are in a dream and that Jesse is actually having a nightmare. Almost everything else that you see in this movie is going to be very ambiguous. Oh, that's a big word. And it's going to be open up for interpretations, just like the aforementioned homosexual undertones that I'm sure we're going to be notified with. And here we are introduced to our leading man, albeit a bit sweaty, a teenager by the name of Jesse, played by Mark Patton. Whoa, what's with the crotch adjustment, dude? Now in the kitchen, where the family is introduced with a stern father and loving mother, Mr. and Mrs. Walsh, played by Clu Gulager and Hope Lang, and a little sister, Angela Walsh, played by Christy Clark, eating her favorite cereal, Fu Manchus. Yeah, that cereal never really took off because unlike Nut and Honey, whenever somebody asked you what you were eating, most people would scream out, F you, man! Hey! Did we just got a double ping? Let's go ahead and take a look at that shot. Oh, I see. I'm pretty sure that's a bear pan on the wall, but it does look a little phallic-y on the left, and next to it is a pan in the shape of a cock. You know, a rooster. Enter in Lisa, the girlfriend, played by Kim Myers. She looks like she was about to run away from the movie, but no, it's too late. You're stuck in here with the rest of us. And they go to school where they are now in phys ed. And can someone please tell me why there's archery targets right next to the baseball players? And then Lisa's friend asks,
So you getting any yet, Lise? Yeah, he's my ride to school, okay?
Well, of course they're not. He's gay. I mean, seriously, the actor that played Jesse, Mark Patton, is openly gay. And you can't knock anybody that might be wearing short shorts in this film, you know, that they might be gay. It was the 80s. That was the norm. What isn't the norm is taking balls in the face.
Hey!
Side note, have you seen the red, white, and blue hat that kid's wearing? That is the logo of the U.S. Summer Olympics in 1984. I had one myself, and that is what Dustin's hat is based off of in the show Stranger Things. While Grady dodges between a game of ball toss, Jesse finally touches him with his. Grady is out, and we get to see Jesse's butt. Okay, now what? We get a chance to see a fight between rivals, right?
Assume the position. Hey!
Well, I'm sure that the gym teacher, Coach Schneider, actually meant push-ups.
Guy gets his rocks off like this. Hangs around queer S&M joints downtown.
Hey!
Grady and Jesse talk in the locker room where Grady says,
Some chick was locked in there by her mother and she went crazy. She watched her boyfriend get butchered across the street by some maniac.
except that wasn't what happened. Glenn died by himself. Well, I mean, Freddy was there, but otherwise he was by himself. Jesse can't sleep and he hears a noise, which leads him to investigate. He sees Freddy and his glove that Mother Maggie Thompson left in the first movie. Well, that is nice. So Jesse's dreaming? See, this is what I'm talking about when I say the movie's direction isn't very clear on what is a dream and what isn't a dream. And also, why is the glove still in the furnace since the first movie? This leads Jesse face to face with Krueger.
Daddy can't help you now.
Hey!
Whoa, wait a minute. Did Freddy just cock his glove hand?
I need you, Jesse.
Hey!
And as you can see, this is the movie where Freddy starts to show his one-liner side by saying things like, "You've got the body and I've got the brain." And again, we see a soaking wet Jesse
Hey!
who wakes up screaming. And I'm always amazed that in horror movies, the parents are able to come running in the moment that someone has a bad dream. You know what happens in real life? Shut up and go back to bed! All these nightmares cause a lack of sleep, and that makes Jesse zonk out in class. And apparently, he dreams of a thick python brushing across his face.
Hey!
Only to wake up before he begins to choke due to the size of the hulking serpent on his throat.
Hey!
Wait a minute, are we watching a Nightmare on Elm Street movie right now? Later back at home, Jesse is heading to see Lisa, but Dad stops him because Jesse needs to put away his stuff first, since Jesse's been putting it off all this time.
Hey!
Wow, that is kind of a phallic-looking clock hanging on the wall. Now to a great scene. Jesse is rebelling against Dad and decides to do it via interpretive dance to Touch Me All Night Long by Wish featuring Fonda Rae. So this is a song that you rebel against Dad with? No, not hardly. And who puts away clothes like this?
Hey!
Then Jesse grabs his wood thing and puts it to his mouth?
Hey!
Well, maybe he was using it as a microphone, except for the fact that he didn't move his mouth at all to the lyrics. And popping his cork at crotch level?
Hey!
The gaydar is going off crazy in this scene.
Sir, there are 6 of them. Bearing 215, range 150 miles. Oh my God, a dozen more of them.
There is no teenage boy on this planet that cleans his room like that when he's rebelling against his father. There's just, it isn't there. And why does Jesse have a no chick sign on his door anyway?
Hey!
So Lisa helps Jesse clean his room and then asks him, "Hey, where's the jock itch spray go?" Really? Like what, we haven't gone 30 seconds without a Wang reference? Whoa. There is a game called Probe that's in the closet.
Hey!
Hey, Jesse, why don't you come out of the closet so we can go ahead and play a game of Probe? Is this a Nightmare on Elm Street movie that we're watching? And Lisa finds Nancy Thompson's diary, and why would that just be laying around? Interesting that Nancy had a diary because we never saw it in the first movie, but Jesse is starting to wonder if the man in Nancy's diary is the guy that he keeps on having nightmares of. Cue Jesse once again completely soaked from sleeping because the makers of the film needed to see Mark Patton soaked once again.
Hey!
I'm not that wet when I get out of the shower. And to his right is a phallically limp candle dripping.
Hey!
Why are my drippings with goo?
Jesse walks around the house, and is he dreaming? I don't know. If so, why is he wearing neon pink pants in his dream? This is where Jesse finds Freddy's glove, and Freddy explains his plan for Jesse to kill for him. Jesse's back at school, questions Grady if he remembers his dream while Schneider yells, "No talking!" Then they talk some stuff about Schneider after class and get punished by having to do more push-ups via recycled footage from earlier in the movie. Yeah, see, I picked up on this because they're wearing different gym clothes, or maybe I should say they're wearing the same gym clothes because it's the gym clothes that they wore earlier in the movie. I mean, that's just bad editing. That's just bad editing. Bad editing. Stop it! Each A Nightmare on Elm Street movie is known for an iconic moment in it. Some scene that everybody remembers. The first movie had scenes like Nancy in the bathtub. This movie, we get this. Are we sure that this is a real Nightmare on Elm Street movie? And while Dad is telling Jesse that Jesse's the one that set up the parakeet to blow up, I'm wondering, why is Jesse wearing the same clothes that he was wearing during the interpretive dance cleanup number? Wasn't that like 2 days ago? Come nighttime, Jesse can't sleep, and he goes to the kitchen and behold the power of Cascade! Why was that scene in the movie? I mean, is it because Jesse didn't wake up soaked in sweat, and we now have to go and throw rain on him so he looks all soaked in sweat?
Hey.
Yeah, that's exactly it. So now Jesse is soaking wet from rain in the fetish bar. After Jesse orders a beer from the producer, Robert Shea, yes, that is the producer, Robert Shea there, he is greeted by gym teacher Coach Schneider.
Hey.
What does Teach do? He sends him back to school to dose out some punishment. Not sure why you would go back to school to do that, but okay. Jesse hits the showers while Schneider goes ahead and gets some rope. For what? I don't know, but he hears a noise, or should I say, he hears a racket. Ah! Now this scene just gets me. The gym teacher, Coach Schneider, is getting pummeled by balls and jock straps.
Hey.
And there's no reaction from the man. A whole cabinet came off the wall and targeted your face to unload itself on.
Hey.
But it isn't until he gets tied up with jump rope that he says anything. And his cries seem half-hearted too. His leather clothes are ripped off only to see a butt and witness a game of smack-ass.
Hey.
And after all of that, Jesse screams in terror, seeing what has happened. Then this shot. Oh, this shot.
Does this belong to you?
Does this belong to you? Not, is this your child? Or, do you know who this person is? The cop says, does this belong to you? But thanks, movie, for giving us another shot of Mark Patton naked and soaking wet.
Hey.
So to protect Jesse from going out in the middle of the night and walking the streets naked, Dad goes ahead and decides to take the bars off the window? That doesn't make any sense. In the beginning of the day, Jesse and Lisa get to school.
Man, where have you been?
I don't know, maybe he's just getting to school like all the other kids are. I mean, what kind of question is that? Just go ahead and skip to the next sweaty Jesse scene in his tidy whities.
Hey.
In the fun with editing department, Jesse is wearing the pajama top again that he wore before going out to the fetish bar. He sees his sister jumping rope and does the Freddy rhyme. See, this is the beef that I have here. I mean, sometimes editing can be wrong. You know, sometimes continuity can get messed up, especially in the span of a franchise. Not really so much in one movie, but here Jesse is. He's wearing a pajama top that should have gone missing when he took it off to hit the showers in the high school, because he was still wearing it there. So it should be in the high school somewhere. We call that evidence, but, you know, let's go on here. The cops picked him up naked. And that's my beef. Where's the top come from? I mean, is he dreaming that he put the top on and then went and saw his sister? Did he fall back asleep? I mean, was he awake before and then fell asleep? And then when he fell asleep, he put on... This is what I'm talking about. This is so screwed up. So now Lisa thinks that Jesse is psychic, so she takes him to an old power plant where Freddy used to work and take the children that were his victims. Oh, and by the way, I don't know if you noticed here, but Jesse and Lisa are wearing the same clothes that they did 20 minutes ago in the movie. Which I don't know how many days ago that was. And look at this Evil Dead shot, which seems like it's directed by Sam Raimi, but it's not. At least it ends with another shot of Jesse doused in sweat.
Hey.
The next day at school, Jesse is cold to his friends, which make everybody ticked off at him. So of course, let's invite him to the party. While at the party, Jesse is being a wallflower, but eventually him and Lisa start to make out and get busy. Also, Jesse learned a certain technique from Gene Simmons. Jesse panics during mid-makeout session and runs to Grady, where he says this.
Something is trying to get inside my body.
Yeah, and she's female and she's waiting for you in the cabana. And you want to sleep with me.
Hey.
Are you sure that this is a Nightmare on Elm Street movie? This conversation doesn't end well for Grady because the transformation of Freddy Jesse begins. Freddy Jesse? Jesse Freddy? Freddy Jesse Freddy. So as Grady's killed, I'm wondering, why was the door locked? And How come Grady couldn't unlock the door? Well, I do have a theory on that, and I will tell you that later on. Jesse sees the aftermath of what happens and freaks out and goes to Lisa, where Lisa is in massive denial, thinking that Jesse couldn't possibly do the things that he's admitting that he did, all while he's covered in blood.
He's inside me, and he wants to take me again.
Hey! Now we are at what could be arguably the best part of the movie or the worst part of the movie, because Jesse is getting possessed one more time and Freddy is back. And we can tell that this is Freddy, Jesse, Freddy, Fressie, because Freddy's glove is not a glove, it's actually a bunch of sausages with knives sticking out of it. Oh yeah, and then there's this line.
There is no Jesse! I'm Jesse now!
Yeah, if there's no Jesse, but you're Jesse now, then there's a Jesse. And Freddy, Jesse, Freddy, Fressie is not threatening physically when you see him in the real world. All we really see is the avatar of Freddy in the movie. But you have to take into consideration what everyone else sees. And that's Jesse just wearing Freddy's glove. Meaning that cool scenes like this
You are all my children now.
really look like this. Yeah, that cool Freddy slashing everybody at the pool party? Yeah, it's just really Jesse running around, probably in his underwear, all soaked in sweat, wearing a Freddy glove. Meaning the guy that was trying to reason with Freddy makes a lot more sense when you think that the guy is really looking at Jesse wearing a glove rather than a burnt demon. And as far as why the doors are locked and flames are shooting out all over the place, I got a theory on this one, so follow me here. Freddy has complete dream manipulation control in the dream world while people are sleeping. He has partial possession over Jesse, which means that he would have partial control over reality manipulation in the real world since he is possessing Jesse, and that would give Freddy massive amount of motivation to possess Jesse completely because it would give him the power to alter reality in itself in our dimension. According to many out in the internet, Jesse takes the role of the survivor girl trope in this movie. However, it is really Lisa who is the survivor girl who ends up facing the big bad. I mean, she's the one that figures out where to meet Jesse, Freddy, Fressie, Jesse, oh, the heck with that name, and leads to the climax. She just has to get past 2 dogs in baby masks guarding the power plant. Seriously, is this truly a Nightmare on Elm Street movie? I mean, who would do that to dogs? That's just wrong. I hope they gave him a treat after the scene. Lisa fights Freddy in the battle of emotions while Jesse just moans like a little baby, and then Freddy is defeated. Then we get this for a final scene.
Jesse, it's okay. It's all over.
What does that even mean? I mean, in the first movie, we're under the impression that Nancy died, and everybody that's in the car is Freddy's victims. Carrie never died. We never see Carrie die. I mean, why would she be a victim in the bus? I mean, are we watching Jesse's dream again? And off into the desert of Indiana. So that was A Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Freddy's Revenge. And yeah, I'm going to say it, I liked this movie. It was different from the rest of the movies. Absolutely, it was. I might have felt a little bit different about this movie if this was like the 4th or 5th installment, because then you would have it totally going against canon. This is the first sequel, so the canon that's built is built after this movie, so I can't fault it for that. I mean, yeah, it did stray from the first movie a little bit, but so did the other sequels. Was the movie written poorly? Absolutely. A majority of it had bad dialogue and not a strong story at all. Definitely a cool concept, but a strong story behind it? No, not so much. I mean, a killer that kills in the dream world, that never kills anybody in the dream world, that's a wasted opportunity for a movie. The possession angle is pretty cool. Freddy using Jesse to kill in his name to gain strength again is a good idea. Heck, they use that in Freddy vs. Jason. The title is misleading because there is nothing that Freddy is vengeful for against Jesse or any of his victims. That's just not his motivation in this movie. The acting is meh at best. I mean, Grady, Mom, Dad, Walsh, they give a good performance out there. I think Mark Patton was given terrible. He was given terrible dialogue, but he did a respectable job in emoting the inner struggle of being possessed. It is a shame that the movie didn't have a stronger treatment and not be an ultimate fan fiction of David Chaskin. Or is it Chaskin? I don't know. What would have been cool is seeing a stronger storyline. showing the motivation of why Freddy is using Jesse as a gateway into our realm. And when they remade the franchise, instead of using the actor they did, they could have used Mark Patton as Freddy Krueger, and that would have been a cool nod to the fans of the franchise. The special effects are probably the strongest part of the movie, but unfortunately it is also one of the weakest. I mean, for every moment that we see Robert Englund as Freddy, Freddy, Fressie, we get a dog in a baby mask or an exploding parakeet. I enjoyed the subtle touches that were hidden in the movie. The little sister's crown picture of her jumping rope in the kitchen was cool, plus the towels in the cabana next to Jesse and Lisa are red and green striped towels. And even though the focus went to the game Probe inside the closet, the 2 pieces of clothing that Lisa put in were Freddy's colors. Due to the subtle undertones, it became a cult hit. And was this the worst Nightmare on Elm Street? No. No, it wasn't. Not at all. Was it the gayest?
Hey!
Yes. Yes, it was. So, where do you rank this in the whole franchise of Nightmare on Elm Street? Do you think it was the best? Do you think it was the worst? Do you think it was more like Halloween 3 Season of the Witch, where it was in the name of the franchise by name only because it really shouldn't pertain to anything else in canon? Go ahead, leave a comment below. I want to know what you have to say. And as always, remember, like, comment, share, subscribe. Don't forget to tap that bell so you get notified the moment I upload. And I will see you in the next video.